Hey guys, it's been a while. It's been a minute, as they say. Happy Saturday to everybody. I wanted to pop on and make a video. I've got little Rowan as the cute little backdrop. He's just hanging out looking really, really cute. Yes, I'm a bad mom. I have him still in the same outfit he's been in for a couple weeks now, I believe, and I love it on him. You know, we're still in winter here, and it's cold outside, but, you know, March is literally in a day or two, on Monday. And yeah, spring is slowly creeping its way here. And when I say slowly creeping, I mean completely not making it here yet. So I am counting the moments until I can have like actual spring weather. So, yep, this is the perfect little outfit for him. I love it. I absolutely love the colors on him. He's just so dang cute in it. And so I wanted to come on because I have a topic I want to chat with you guys about. I want your opinion. I want to hear some feedback. It's nothing that's personally happening to me, but I think that it's something that I'm seeing more and more of in the doll community. So I figured it'd be a great topic to chat about. And what it really is when you take an artist's fully finished doll, like we can use like Claire's dolls as a, you know, as an example. We can use Romy Stridom's edition dolls as examples. And I'm talking completed from start to finish, not kits. I'm talking fully completed edition dolls. We can use Joanna Kazmierzak as an example. Any one of those high-end artists. If you take a finished doll by that artist and you make alterations, aka major changes to that doll, is it still that artist's work? Is it still, can you turn around and sell that doll as, we'll say, Romy Stridom? We'll use that as an example because I'm seeing recently a lot of her dolls being made over, quote unquote, by a couple of artists. And it just begs the question, out of curiosity, I'd be curious to know what artists think about this. I'd be curious about what collectors think about this, which is why I'm talking about it, because I think it really brings up a really good topic of discussion, really. So I'm going to talk about Romy Stridom because that's kind of what sparked this, as I saw a couple of her dolls being redone. And I've seen them redone and made over, quote unquote, in the past by other artists other than Romy Stridom. And Romy Stridom, if you're not familiar with her work, most collectors, even newer collectors, are very familiar with Romy's dolls. They're very highly sought after. Romy does not do anything but fully finished edition dolls as of right now. She does not put kits out. She had put out a couple of vinyl kits early on, but I do not believe she's put anything out in a long time. Her main focus is creating one-of-a-kind dolls in small editions. Now, if you're familiar with If you're familiar with Romy Stridom's work, you will know that there is a very distinctive way that Romy paints her dolls. There's a very specific look to all her dolls. And even if, you know, if someone showed me a Romy Stridom doll and I hadn't followed Romy from here on out, I could pick out a Romy Stridom doll based on her sculpting style, her body styles, the way she paints, the type of eyes she uses, the way she roots the heads. I'm just very familiar with her style. She has a very distinctive style. And so, you know, when you see her work altered, you know, the question really is, especially if you're altering the work and making changes to the doll, then reselling the doll and labeling it a Romy Stridom doll and putting a large price tag on it, is that really the right thing to do? I mean, when you take away the painting style and You maybe even change the eyes, reroute the hair. I mean, it could be any number of different things that someone's doing to the doll. Once you've changed the full look of the doll, is it still that artist's work? Can you really sell that doll as a Romy Stridham doll? That's the question. I'm curious to know. I would like people's feedback, especially knowing Romy does not put kits out. It's different when you're looking and talking about like Claire Taylor, who purposely puts out silicone doll kits for other artists to, you know, bring to life their own version of what they see the creation becoming. It's a whole different ballgame to me. The way I process it and think about it is that Romy Stridham does not put out kits. Romy Stridham puts out her work with every doll, all the love, the time, the effort that goes into creating each, like every single doll is her heart and soul in that doll. She doesn't put out kits probably for a reason. And you know, I have no idea how Romy Stridham feels about this. It's just my topic of conversation because I'm curious. Because if I were an artist, I don't know if I'd be happy seeing someone alter my work, knowing it's going to happen. I mean, there's always going to be people out there. Once you buy a doll, you can do whatever you want to it. You know, this video isn't about saying, oh, you can't change an artist's work if you own the doll. That's not what this video is about. The video really is about, like, when you take an artist's work and you alter it, heavily alter it, so that it loses that quote-unquote Romy Stridham look that all of her dolls have, and then you turn around and try to resell the doll, is it right to put Romy Stridham's name on the doll any longer? I mean, it's one thing to say that the doll was sculpted by Romy Stridham, but then maybe stating that the doll has been reworked, but truly calling it a Romy Stridham edition doll, to me that just doesn't seem accurate. I guess is really what it comes down to for me. But I might be in the very unpopular opinion category in this. I have no idea. Everybody has their thoughts on it. I definitely have my thoughts and feelings on it and how I would think it should be. But like, you know, it's something to kind of consider, because the longer silicone dolls have been on the market, like the number of years that they've been made, the longer they've been out, the more wear and tear they have, the more people are going to want to do upkeep on them, especially, you know, someone that might be buying a doll that has some issues or boo-boos or paint problems. They're going to want to fix the doll up. And not everybody is going to have the original artist do that. Some artists don't even do upkeep and maintenance on their dolls any longer. I know that Claire Taylor, unless you are the first owner, does not do, you know, fixing of her own dolls because she just doesn't have the time. I know that Romy definitely still does do this little spa day or touch-up or whatever you want to call it. I know she does that. It's a service she provides. It's probably fairly expensive. To have the doll brought back to its more original condition as she originally made the doll, depending on how bad, you know, what condition the doll is in. But it's just something to think about. As our dolls age, as they get up there in years, they're going to need attention, more than likely, especially if they've been handled or had multiple mommies. I know that on the secondary doll market, it's a crapshoot what you're going to get. You know, people have tried to make repairs themselves that didn't do it right or use the right silicone glue. You know, I've seen all sorts of stuff. They get the heads rerouted and, you know, it just begs an interesting topic of conversation. You know, we're going to see more and more of this, but when you're reselling it, I think that's, you know, the wording and knowing what you're putting out there, especially if the doll's been heavily altered, that's the question in mind that I'm thinking about. Like, if I were in the market to go buy a Romy Stridham doll and the doll has been altered, I know when the doll's been altered because, you know, these, you know, altered, you know, spruced up dolls, cleaned up dolls, however you want to call them, they don't look like Romy's work anymore. They no longer look to me like a Romy Stridham baby, so I wouldn't even be interested in buying one of them. But that being said, when you go on the secondary market looking for, you know, a Romy Stridham doll, a Claire Taylor silicone doll, you know, even Joanna Kazmierzak's dolls, you don't know what you're going to get depending on how they were treated, how they were handled, how many mommies they've had, and how upfront and honest collectors will be to the potential new mommy. That's the unfortunate part, is that not all collectors are super upfront and honest about what may have been done to the doll, or they just simply don't know. And I'm also finding that a lot of newer collectors don't even know what it means when you ask if the doll is in pristine condition. Does the doll have matting issues? And I've had people, collectors, tell me, oh yeah, no, that's perfect. Doll's perfect, just like the day I got the doll. Except for the fact is that they didn't realize that it's not normal to have shiny spots all over the doll. They didn't understand, or they played dumb, which it could be either really, what it meant to have, matting intact, a rip or tear. Like, I've seen the gamut. I've received dolls that someone said was in pristine condition and it had rips and tears all over it. And they're like, oh, I didn't know that was a rip or a tear. Really, when buying on the secondary market, it's a free-for-all. You don't know what you're going to get unless you know the seller. And because there's so many new collectors that are just buying up and snatching up popular dolls, popular artists' work, they haven't been in the hobby long enough to understand how the doll should be treated and handled with care. And a lot of newer collectors also have this thought in their head that it's normal and okay to bathe the doll and not expect any problems to arise. Like, there are so many different scenarios that I've seen, that I've experienced and watched. And, it's a scary thing. And now with a lot of work being, altered, that adds a whole nother layer of, where the price should be for those secondary market dolls, right? Like, Romy Stridham's dolls maintain and hold their value very, very well. Just like Claire Taylor's dolls hold their value very, very well. Same with Joanna Kazmierzak's dolls. They hold their value even years after they've been made. But it's important for us collectors that do like to buy in the secondary market that we need to ask a lot of questions. We need to know the history of the doll. And yes, this goes back to what you should be doing when you're buying or looking to buy a new doll and you're looking on the secondary market. You need to know as much information as possible. You need lots of pictures, lots of close-ups of all the places that could be troubled areas. You want to detail the information about the quality and intact matting or lack thereof. Like, there are so many things that you may not see in pictures or even video, but you have to ask about. And now, has the work been altered? I can spot certain artists' work. I don't know all artists' work like I do with Claire and Romy and Joanna. Like, I know their style of painting and I know what their dolls typically look like when they're finished. Other artists, not so much. But that's something to really, really think about. Ultimately, it adds a whole layer of risk there that I want collectors to be aware of. But I also want to know your opinion on this. Like, is it right for a collector / artist who takes any artist's work and then repaints the artist's work and makes some serious changes to that particular doll, and they want to sell the doll? Should it be advertised as the original artist's work? That's the question. It's the question I want people to share their thoughts on. And I don't have a specific, like, oh, this has happened to me and I feel upset. No, this is just a topic of conversation, and I really want to hear all sides and all thoughts on this. Even if you're an artist that actually does do work on like an artist's original work and you update them or you fix them or make repairs, I'm curious your thoughts on this. I also am curious, like, collectors that may be interested in buying these dolls, I just want to know everybody's thoughts because I find it very interesting. And we have an ever evolving, changing doll community where we're going to see new things popping up, different things, how it's handled that we never used to see before. And this is one of them. Dolls are becoming of a certain age, especially silicone dolls that are loved and handle the lot. They're going to need repairs. And since a lot of artists aren't doing their own repairs anymore, or collectors choose to take it to another artist to have them do, it changes kind of the way we see what's actually out there and being bought and sold now. So that's why I find it to be a very interesting topic, and it's a topic that's going to maybe, affect all of us at one point in time in the future if we like to buy on the secondary market. What are your thoughts? Is a doll worth as much as the original artist's work, even if it's been altered? It might be in better shape because it's been fixed and it's been repaired, but it's been repainted and changed. So is that doll, take the original Romy Stridham doll that could have been, originally $12,000, over a couple of years, doll got loved, needed some work. An artist took this doll, bought it at a cheaper price because of the fact the doll needed work, and then made the changes and fixed the doll and repainted the doll or rerouted or whatever whatever it might have been, and then puts a big price tag back on that doll to resell. Is that an okay thing? Is that going to be the new normal? Maybe. I'm curious to know what you guys' thoughts are, though. It's just one of those things that I think we're going to see a lot more of, and I just want to hear feedback. I want to hear your thoughts, guys. And, especially, and this is mainly, I'm not talking about kits whatsoever. Take that off the table. This is just taking an original artist's edition creation and altering it, and then reselling for a nice price tag, even though the doll may have lost its, original artist look. That's what I'm curious about. So please do share. I really want to see what everybody thinks out there. And there may be some really varying opinions. So just be respectful. It's not about, getting upset or having like this, huge debate necessarily. I really just want to hear people's thoughts because I think this is going to become a more common thing. And I think it's important that we talk about these sorts of situations, especially knowing that most of us, if not all of us, at one point in time or another in the doll community will buy from the secondary market at one time or another. I mean, I used to only buy directly from artists, and then I've gotten farther and farther away from that. And so now my preference, especially if it's from somebody I know, is to buy on the secondary market. I think it's just a better deal, but it also can be, there can be pitfalls in that too, and other problems that arise. And knowing that and talking about it and being aware is really, really important, I think. I want all collectors to be aware of what happens in our community. And so this is something I've seen and just think it's important to chat about. So let me know your thoughts, guys. And here's little Rowan looking absolutely adorable. He's like the best backdrop to a chat conversation. He really is so cute. So anyways, guys, thank you. If you've hung in there for 18 minutes of a discussion, I appreciate that. I know not many people do stick around for the whole video, but I do appreciate when people do. I'm excited to see what you guys have to say about this, and I hope everybody's out there enjoying their weekend. It's cold as can be out here today, so I'm just going to, finish my cleaning and stuff like that on the weekend. So it's a good day to do that and then get caught up on some videos because I have been MIA for the last couple of weeks. Been busy with a lot of stuff going on in my life, and trying to do some catch up now. So enjoy your day, guys, and we will see you all very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.